Just a quick update this time. I've spent the last week trying to turn this into a full-fledged devlog by going through the process in autistic detail, but it felt over-bloated considering all I have to really talk about is just a few assets. I know some comments have mentioned that they enjoy the in-depth and detailed videos, however, analytics are telling me quite a different story. As a lot of you drift away, the longer I explain things. I'll talk more about my future plans at the end, but for now, let me show you what I've actually been up to. Here are some assets for a classic castle style dungeon. I went with this style as a starting point to get me into the swing of building levels. There are 3 assets here at present. We have a wall, pillar and floor. These are not final assets, more building blocks that I will modify and combine to create room cells. To briefly explain how I made the wall, I used a plane to create the stones by subdividing and then offsetting every other row. I then scaled each individual face down and extruded them out. Now that I had the base shape, I could go in with the bevel and knife tool to achieve an eroded look. I aim to keep these models relatively low poly, so utilising triangles opposed to just quads was important to achieve the shape. I repeated this process for the stone pillar, but instead of starting with a plane, I used a box instead. Once these shapes were done, I went through and marked certain edges as sharps, to give this hard-edged look when smooth shading was turned on. As for the floor, I started with a square plane and subdivided it 10 by 10. From here, I created a pattern by grouping various sections to create tiles. I shifted some of these tiles to overlap the edge of the original square as a means to eliminate any straight lines when the floor cells were repeated. Like the walls, I extruded and used the bevel to add detail. After UV unwrapping for textures, I went back in and cut the overlapping tiles and repositioned them the opposite side. This returned the floor section to a square for a seamless floor tile. Without going into too much detail, I spent some time jigsawing the UV of the assets together before texturing them over several days. As stated previously, these assets are going to be adjusted to create modular cells that I will use to construct the dungeon. From here, I will move to work on more assets, such as doorways, furniture, and various other decorative items. But that is kind of it for this update really. As I said, it doesn't seem like much, but a lot of work went into them. So from now on, I'm going to be doing smaller updates. Eventually, when I feel there is enough, I will do a recap video in the form of a devlog. Devlogs can sometimes take over a week to make, and I feel the time is better spent working on the project. These updates will be released on Patreon first, then made public on the channel a week later. You may have also noticed I haven't uploaded for 3 months. That is because I took an extended break and worked on another project. The aim of the project was to improve my Blender skills when it comes to creating characters, as I plan to do some improvements to the playable character eventually. Plus, Tears of the Kingdom came out, and I entered a coma for a while, so I hope that explains my absence. So once again, thanks to those supporting me on Patreon, and to those who leave comments and likes on the videos. So make sure to do that, and you can click here if you missed a previous devlog. And if you want to do none of that, would you kindly bugger off?
Maybe.